Hello and welcome to Box Board, and tonight we are going to be looking at this rather awesome addition to my collection of role-playing games, Star Trek Adventures. Now I have to confess at this point I am a little bit of a Trekkie, just a little bit. We won't get into who's better and who's worse, but I have been rather excited to see this. And at some point we'll pick up the minis, which look awesome to go with this. But yeah, so this is from my friendly local game store. First impressions before we get into anything else. I've had a bit of a look through it, but first impressions, nice solid book, okay? Nice solid book. It's a quality product. RPG, they're not the cheapest books in the world, but my goodness, this is a nice one. First thing that hits you, you've got your map, and then it's LCARS. This is our credits and our contents, and it's all wonderfully themed. I mean, it just looks beautiful as a book goes. I'm so looking forward to getting into this. So you've got a very strongly themed product, and you've got that. That's just awesome. Little bit on the, you get lots of background about various aspects of the universe. You get lots about history and the different parts. This is if you're a Trekkie, this is a beautiful book. Forgetting everything else, this is awesome. Then we've got a bit about the 23rd century. So there's different eras that you can play in, and you can roleplay in the 23rd century. Then there's the recent, which is cool. So you get things like Wolf 359. You've got just some wonderful things, and then you continue in mission. So this is we've had this bit about the history. Then we get to the current state of play, and then how you fit within that universe. So things like, what's the purpose of Starfleet? What's the Prime Directive? What's Starfleet Academy? What's your what assignments, duties, and away teams? But about all of them. So you're getting this what's it about? Then we've got tiny little things like just some of the boxes, some of the sort of bits that come out at you. Just as you go through, there's wonderful things that this is what the different pins mean. So you can spot people, a bit about what the Prime Directive is, a bit about what Starfleet Academy is, and how it works. Departments, what the colours are in your assignment, and what that means. What duties you would have. Again, really, really nice. Just looking at this, going, wow, this is, what kind of missions types there would be. So science missions, diplomatic missions, protection, security missions, what those look like, what away teams do, what diplomatic relief missions look like, what exploration can look like. Again, wonderful artwork. I mean, just gorgeous artwork all the way through this. You get these tiny little things. Like, here's what Danube class looks like. Peacekeep, different type of operations. Again, a snapshot of your Enterprise class, your Galaxy class. Sorry. So the sort of next gen. Then we've got a bit about operations, different types of operations, or what the operations are, and really that's looking at how the Games Master works, how you play the game. Is put into operations, which I love. It's just that this just flavour reeks out of this thing. It's just fantastic. I mean, I'm looking at this and just going, this is just fantastic as a book goes. I feel like it's smack into that sort of universe of Star Trek. It's not just a sort of a random set of games. It fits. It's wonderful. It's just wonderful. Bit about reporting for duty. So this is kind of like I think this is character creation. So yeah, so we get about characters, and how that works in the game, what your play style is, a little bit about play style. What what kind of game everybody wants to play, what, how to set up a game, how to build, and what that looks like, and what you would use different. This is lovely. So like things like, here's your stats, so your attributes. Now a character might use control when, and it tells you when you're going to use these, which is really nice. So I might use command when, and how am I going to use command? When's this, or not? When's that going to come in? How am I going to bring that in? How am I going to use presence? How am I going to? It's a lovely system. Then it tells me about how to work out a life path, and it goes through the steps and how to do it. So I pick out my species. I pick out different aspects. It tells me what the species that are available are at this in the core. And actually they're given eras that they can play. So next generation, if you're Bajoran, is the only option to you. The Betazoids are next generation as well. Whereas something like the Trill can be original series and next generation eras only. Vulcan can be all eras, so and it tells you a bit about them, tells you what their traits are, tells you what their attributes are, talents, and tells you how to do things at the mind meld. What does that look like? Just lovely things. Goes through it step by step, gives you a bit about every single one. Really leads you through, so you're getting a detailed, rich character generation, which is lovely. This is just unbelievably good. Honestly, is unbelievably good. And then career events. It's just so rich. Absolutely gorgeous. Then putting in some finishing touches and names, and so Betazoid typical names for the male and female, and family names, and Vulcan names, and gorgeous. Bit of a personality, bit of appearance, relationships, all this kind of stuff. Then we look at ranks and rules. What do you do? What's your role? And then we've got our sample characteristic sheets. So we've got the character goes into this sort of bit here, so you can fill it all in. That's a sample, and I suspect that you've got blank ones at the back. Then we look at things like, there's another method you can do it, which is somewhat simpler, but does require that the player has a greater understanding of what they want their character to be for developing in play, and how to do that. And then supporting characters, what they're going to look like, how to create supporting characters. GM, that's quite useful. Things like, I'm just looking at this, just going, this is just awesome. On so many levels, this book is ticking the boxes for me. Then we get the bits about the final frontier. So we're looking at, okay, so whenever I'm playing, what's that going to look like? What's the world look like? So I've got strange new worlds and different types of environmental damage and hostile environments, different classes of worlds, what aliens are like, and different options, stellar phenomena, what they're like. It's just gorgeous. The scientific method, how to do it. This is awesome. Warp core, and then how conflict works, and includes social conflict, which is interesting. These are awesome. This is just awesome, because again, you don't always do combat in Star Trek. A lot of it isn't combat. A lot of it is things like, well, actually, it's deception and diplomacy. Then we've got tech, a whole section on tech. So what are the tools? What are the things that are there? How do those work? Weapons. And how to play them and how to use them. And then we're looking at how starships work, and basically how, because it's a big bit of this game, is how the starship, how does that work? How do star bases work? What are the bridge personnel? What the warp factors look like? What are colonies like? What are the rules for playing in the starship? And how can you use them? So the character might use the ship's computers for for specific things. How does that work? Departments rating. I have no idea what that means yet, but I will. So there's different departments and how they, I would imagine how they work and how that all goes together. I mean, this is just, you look at this and you just think, this is a detailed, rich world. And I feel as if, Starship Combat, how do you play Starship Combat? How does that work? Because you've got to feel part of it, and how's it going to work in the game? So what's that going to be like for you as a player, and as a GM? How's that going to work? And then we've got a whole chunk about stuff like, starship creation. Oh, gorgeous. This is just different classes and of ships. It's just, I'm just looking at this and just falling in love with it, to be perfectly honest. It's incredible. It's an incredibly wonderful book, just as a book, and I can. And then alien vessels, what are they like? You've got all the different. You've got Cavort class Romulan, bird of prey. You've got the Dominion Gem Hadar attack ship. You've got Borg. You've got Borg, Borg Sphere, Borg Cube, Ferengi, Decora class Marauders. You get the Maquis Raiders. This is just fantastic. Then we get the bit about Games Master and how to do that and how to run this, and which is probably a bit I need to read up on because I'm planning to run this again with glorious artwork and very, very flavoursome. This is a beautiful thing. This is a beautiful thing, and I could get into more and more NPCs. So what the aliens are like. Then it goes through each of the alien empires, what they're like. It's beautiful, beautiful book. I cannot recommend. Anyway, so I can't recommend this enough. So minor NPCs for Klingons. What are they like? You've got a picture to give you an idea if you don't know what they are. You've got how their attacks work. You've got their attributes, their disciplines, their special rules. Gorgeous. I mean, there's no other way for that to say this. This is just a beautiful book. This is just an utterly beautiful book. I am very, very happily pleased with it. I'm very happy with this. Sorry, it's great. And then we get into things like alien artifacts. And one of the things that struck me whenever I went through this was that there's these are the things that we kind of expect to see, like Planet Killer. What's that like? And Beasts of the Galaxy. So we get the things like, where is it? The crystalline entity, which is one of my favourite things in Star Trek. And then you get a mission and what it looks like and how to play it and what the scenes are. And then we get the play testers, as you would expect. We get these guys who've play tested and gone through it. And how this doesn't come from nowhere. Games don't. They come from somewhere, and it's again fantastic. It's just wonderful. I have to say, it's just absolutely gorgeous. You've got your whole, these are your personnels. This is your ship. And then you've got, on top of that, what's really nice, and it's hinted at here, is it's supported by miniatures, and there's a whole set of books that are coming out, or that are out, and that you can build on. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Now, if this lives up to half what it looks like, I mean, I have to say, I think I might have fallen in love with something. This is absolutely fantastic. So, thank you for watching. That is Star Trek Adventures. We're going to be running some of this. I don't know if we'll get them online. I'd love to try, but that would require me to do some to do a wee bit of research on the video aspect of it. But it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Go out and buy it. If you love Star Trek, go and buy it. As a system, I've been hearing good things. I've been hearing very good things. So, and as a beautiful piece of work, it's gorgeous. Well done, Meadowface. Well done indeed. That's beautiful.